My name is Tanner Scott. I think I've achieved infamy at this point.
Yeah.
Not fame, but infamy. I was running for school trustee here in Nanaimo, the SD68 area, Nanaimo Ladysmith. And I made the news. I think I made the National Post simply for saying that children should be omitted from the current culture war that's going on, specifically around the sexualization of children. So I'm assuming some of you know me, some of you may not. One of the platforms that I ran on was that the classroom should be a political and ideologically free space where children are able to learn. That was the biggest part of my platform. However, one of the things that I ran up against with that, in being a politically neutral classroom supporter, was SOGI 123. So what that means, sexual orientation, gender identity. And that's a ideology that's kind of birthed out of the 1960s sexual liberation movement. And we're going to talk about that a little bit today. It is a heavy topic, and from what I understand in the news, we've had a pretty heavy day already. So here's what I don't want to do. I don't want to burden you more so with heavy, outrageous emotion that you don't know what to do with. I want to find a channel for that. That is activity. That is something that we can do to address the issues that we're concerned about. And I hope to do that. I've been in Nanaimo now for 8 years. I've served as a support worker, different organizations. The Boys and Girls Club was probably the longest one. Love that job. And I want to make clear that I had been working with LGBTQ youth. There was no real, I'm having a problem, technical difficulty on the fly, but I will work on that later. So I have been working with LGBTQ youth. Didn't matter. I want to paint the picture of myself as someone who deals with individuals first and allows people to define themselves, which is, the connection is gone, just a little. Oh. I wanted to paint myself as someone who is interested in people first as individuals, and I let people define themselves as whatever they would like to define themselves as. I was seeing more and more in my support work that kids were refusing to go to school. And okay, we've all encountered that, right? I was there as a teenager as well. I did not want to go to school. We've all had those feelings. But there was some specific instances that really concerned me. A young woman and a young man that I had worked with that were refusing to go to school because of reasons that were beyond their control, in that they felt like the school was putting a certain group of students on a pedestal and purposely discriminating against another group of students that would raise any sort of concern. And what that looked like in this case was this young man particularly pointed out that, you know, they say it's an inclusive school, that diversity is important, that everyone's opinion is valid, but when I raise my hand to talk about this stuff, the whole classroom retaliates, and I don't feel like I can make even a point about this. And I went, that does not sound like a politically or ideologically neutral space in order for a student to learn. And so I ran for the school trustee position back in October of 2022. You got it? All right, thank you. So here we are. That led into Gabriel Island incident, which some of you have read about. It was really sensationalized in the news, and I was simply providing images that were graphic. There were no children present, of what it would look like for someone to support SOGI, sexual orientation and gender identity, to the point of transition surgery. And we're going to be talking a little bit about that this evening. But I just wanted to begin by introducing myself, that I have never discriminated against someone based on their creed, color, religion, whatever. My background is that I've been in the church for a while. I've smuggled Bibles into Pakistan. I've had AK-47s pointed at me. I've been spit on. I've been all sorts of things. And I've always just tried to seek to serve the lost in some shape, way, or form. So that's where I'm coming from a Christian perspective, in that loving your neighbor as yourself is a really big important part of what I do, and that was part of my support work as well, which led into